Fuck Verizon. This is a be toxic towards Verizon stream too, okay? Because this has been an ongoing issue, and it's not just the fact that I use what's it called, a mesh or whatever to get Ethernet up to my bedroom. I'm just gonna we didn't yap about anything too important. We just should talk to Cass in the first few minutes here. But for the last like month or so, Verizon has been having these little hiccups, and it's pissing me off. Yeah, her life is crazy. I am going to tell you guys this. I don't know where I'm going with her story right now. Part of why I haven't been playing her too much is because it's like, the way I see it, we're kind of in the end game. Especially with Veronica's story. I don't know what that looks like. Because I don't have all that much left to do with the character. Right? She at this point kinda, even though she and Mason were divorced, I think she does consider herself a widow twice over. Well, I'm fucked for a little bit. She hasn't mentioned to Wade or Dorian that she's awake yet. Mostly because, like, I'm not awake to do stuff. I'm on server specifically for V to have this conversation with JoJo. And then I'm gonna swap to Cass and end stream. We're group 4, right? I think. No, Raiders are match. Raiders are the last match, aren't they? I think. To figure out when to pay bills on Rena's house. And V is probably going to transfer that to Wally at some point in accordance with what Reyna asked of her. And this was before Reyna even got attacked. Might as well go drive around for a bit. We do want to have the conversation with Joanna down here, though. Because I think it'd be funny. Need to go get a new radio anyway. Is Morningwood fixed yet? But yeah, I'm incredibly toxic towards Cassidy. Whenever I'm streaming, literally does not matter what I'm doing. If I can shit talk Cass, I shit talk Cass. Which I know is probably annoying for some people, but look, V is my baby girl. You know, she is my. She's done a lot of wrong, but come on, how can you hate Veronica? Whereas like Cass is Cass. Nope. Still busted. Still busted. I just need a fucking radio. The Vinewood. But all joking aside, I have been enjoying being back doing EMS stuff. I've missed it. I tried it out on Onyx for a bit, and I think V being in high command on Onyx really made it difficult for me to get back into doing EMS proper. Where with Cass, I've been able to kind of ease back into things, and she's slowly been stepping up to do stuff because she has a goal of making paramedic. And so one of the things she's been doing is pointing out weird wordings and outdated stuff and what's the word for when things don't match across documents? Not inadequacies, not inefficiencies. I'm blanking on words. It's the word for, like, not redundant, inconsistencies. That's the word I was looking for. So she's pointing out inconsistencies and stuff in the SOPs and really just taking a more active role. And it's funny because she got access to FTO reports last night. And she reformatted a discussion report that's just like tossing ideas around. And Jeremy just goes, "Miss Cassidy, your editing style reminds me of someone." Because, look, I'm not gonna change how I edit things. Consider it's like because I wrote the SOPs. So I think it's just gonna become like a running joke when I format things on Cass that looks an awful lot like how the SOPs are formatted. Because if you don't know, Veronica was the deputy chief at the start of 4.0 and at the end of 3.0. And at the start of 4.0, so much of my time on server was spent because we didn't have the online MGT yet. So much of my time on server was spent with Veronica 10.7 because you also could not access the MGT if you weren't clocked in. So a lot of my time was spent... Yeah, we'll sign it. It's really cool that they've integrated the petitions. Probably shouldn't do that at a stoplight, but you know. But so much of my time in early 4.0 was spent getting the SOP documents imported into the MDT and then rewording things for 4.0. Hey! How's it going? We're just trash talking Cassidy. Because it's something I do a lot when I'm streaming, is I will shit talk Cass. Oh yeah, it's there was a little bit of a queue when I hopped on. I think there was 9 people in queue when I hopped on, which is less than it has been the last few days. Surely nothing can go wrong. What if we just, when Joanna wakes up, we ping her to the top of Maze Bank Tower? What if... Thank you for the follow. Like, what if we just ping JoJo to the top of Maze Bank Tower? Right? Like that... That wouldn't be the worst thing, right? Look, it's where Leo threw us off of Maze Bank Tower. And he is wearing a wingsuit. Remember in 3.0 when there were yoga mats up here? What side's gonna be the best view? I think it's gonna be this side. It's gonna be the best view of the city. Alright. So... Which one? Because I forget what I said, and I said it, what, like 10 seconds ago? I'm also cooked, so this is not going to be a long stream. We're literally just around to talk to JoJo. Because I worked a 7-hour shift yesterday. Oh, yoga mats? Yeah, I want to say they were placed by a dev. Can we just talk about one of my favorite things in 4.0 is just how far you can see when you're up high. Because when we're up at the observatory, like on Old Lady Hill, you can see the airport lights and you can see the ocean. I wish we still had the ranger towers because of that. Downside is you can't really see the cars too well from up high. Because I don't think the cars render in. You can hear the sirens, but I don't think the vehicles render from this high up. Oh, I think that's fair because I'm assuming she's heard the stories about what happened with EMS and the Raiders and just the Raiders and various groups. Which a lot of the Raiders' issues with EMS boiled down to VV. But I'm off work tomorrow. Which means I might play Cass in the afternoon. Because usually I'm playing Cass around these hours into shift 3. So I'm like mid shift 2 into early shift 3. But like I was saying before my internet went out earlier though, because I just remembered I was talking about that. I see Veronica's story as kind of being in its end game. Yeah, I'm hoping to bring Cass around a little earlier tomorrow. Because I need to, like, she needs to get the crit care stuff. Like, the only crit care thing she's done since, like, the little crit care academy thing is that, she has used the combat gauze. But none of her patients have needed the Lucas. None of her patients have needed AED. None of her patients have needed medication. So, hey, it's a party up in here. Yeah, the only reason she hasn't mentioned to Wade or Dorian that she's around. Well, I'll tell Wade that. Around. One, they have the race. Two, we're really only on to talk to JoJo whenever Kirby gets on. Oh. Hey, Wade.
Hey, we're at this race stuff.
Alright. I figured as much.
Yeah, it's Dorian and I doing today's races.
Alright.
You should have joined in.
Yeah, I heard that
race.
today is a motorcycle race, and I'm mad that well, here's the thing. I couldn't commit because my schedule is so up in the air from week to week. Which is the big reason I didn't.
You're gonna miss out on a great motorcycle race.
What bike is it?
We don't know yet, but we're starting down at the pier, at the Del Perro Pier. We're on the beach waiting for the...
Oh, is that where it was starting? I was at Del Perro a little bit ago when I was just kind of waking myself up.
Yep, starting off at Del Perro.
Riley's also probably going to be upset that she's missing the motorcycle race day.
Yeah, but she's going to race tomorrow. She's going to be in the finals, if it's a finals tomorrow with us, so...
Alright.
This is V. I thought it would be.
I'm a little upsetty spaghetti that, especially since I didn't realize that they were running late the last few days too.
Yeah, you can come spectate if you want. She's to the beach.
I'm waiting for someone to come around because I have to talk to them about Raina.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, I get
Who's coming around?
Joanna. Because I guess.
Clown?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Patrick didn't want to tell her himself, so I guess it's landing in my lap to tell her. He couldn't bring himself to tell her. I'm like, and motherfucker, you think I can? But
just text her it.
I might. We'll see.
Okay.
All right. Good luck.
All right. Let you know how it goes.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm so mad that it's bike racing. I figured one of the days would be. But with my work schedule, I could not commit to it because I didn't have my schedule. I got my schedule on Saturday, but we've also had some family health issues crop up this past week. On top of that, my dad's had some doctor's appointments this week to prep for hip surgery and stuff like that, so it just wasn't really advisable, in my opinion, for me to commit Veronica to it. Yeah. Ooh, someone just blew up. But yeah, if you guys have questions about V, once I'm at it. Or even about Cass. While we're waiting for JoJo to wake up and see our text. Because like I said, like, I definitely feel like this is like the end game for Veronica. not in like a she's gonna die sense, but in the sense of like, at this point, the end of 4.0 definitively is the end of Veronica's story. If I get invited to 5.0, I'll probably make the character to have her. But she's not going to be my main, you know? So, the sooner, once we, I think once we have, like, an idea of when 5.0 is coming and stuff like that, I'll probably have more of a concrete idea of, like, where V's story is ending. Because I have a couple different endings in mind for her. The ideal, at least for me, is that Veronica, when inevitably the economy collapses and San Andreas falls into ruin again, moves to North Carolina and sets up a home base there, and just travels. Takes her bike and just travels. Is kind of like my ideal ending for V. So it would not continue in 5.0 because I'm 99.9% sure that Summer is not bringing Lane back to 5.0. I never say 100% sure on anything, even though realistically it's like 100% assurance, like sure that she's not going to bring Lane to 5.0, because I know that she said as much. We'd have to see where their story goes and, like, where that would land. But if Veronica were to come around in 5.0, like, were I to get a 5.0 invite, it would be to visit people that are still around. It wouldn't be for any, like, prolonged periods of time. She would literally exist to just exist. Because at this point, I have done everything I could do with this character. She started out, right, farmer's market, coming to the city in witness protection, all that. She gets a job at the farmer's market, meets people, starts her own successful business, probably one of the most successful businesses to come out of the farmer's market that wasn't a restaurant. Does that for the entirety of 3.0, becomes EMS, is this timid little medic who doesn't even want to give up being a trainee because she's so nervous. Progresses through the ranks, becomes an AEMT, becomes a paramedic, quickly becomes a lieutenant, becomes captain, becomes deputy chief. Comes back, while she's deputy chief, deals with Sanguine, deals with the fallout of her husband being, essentially assassinated because of Sanguine and his investigations into the prison. Comes back, deputy chief, gets burnt out because of how the department is, because Veronica had a plan to be deputy chief for at least 6 months post return. And, like, see, that was my goal, because I wanted to make sure that when Veronica and inevitably Kiki were ready to retire, that there were characters who were ready to take up the mantle and ready to be chief and deputy chief. I don't think that quite happened. But I think EMS is in the most stable place it has been since Veronica and Kiki. She does that. She leaves EMS, gets serious with Mason, becomes an old lady, blazes the trail in the Raiders for the old ladies who come after her. And now she's back to being the only old lady. That's a whole mess in and of itself. Becomes a gets founder status in the Raiders. Murders her ex-wife, who is the reason that she ended up in San Andreas in the first place. Like, Girly has done it all at this point. She just wants to... When inevitably the economy tanks, she doesn't want to be where the island gets decimated or whatever the end of 4.0 is going to bring. Veronica wants to be off somewhere, traveling. It's been very interesting to play Cass. As much as I should talk Cassidy, and say how awful she is, she's different than Veronica in a lot of ways. Cass has this natural confidence that Veronica lacks. She doesn't really talk down on herself like Veronica used to. So like she has this confidence in herself. She's very to the point. She does get flustered and nervous about things when she's talking to people. I mean, when she broke up with Reese, she word vomited so much because she felt bad about it, because like Cass genuinely likes Reese as a person. She enjoys spending time with him, but through talking to Owen and like talking to other people and like hearing about other people's relationships, like, and like her own past experiences, she's like, I need to figure some shit out, and it's not fair for me to stay with Reese while I figure this shit out. Because like, the thing with Cass is she's like, I mean, I like flirting with people, she likes sleeping with people and like having, you know, those kinds of connections with people, but she has never been able to be in a relationship and stay in a relationship. She's never, by her own admission, she's never felt romantic love for anybody that she's been in a relationship with. But she doesn't have a title for it yet. She doesn't have a label for it. Does Cass die if she gets promoted by paramedic? No. I have no intention of permaing Cass anytime soon. And I have no intention of tying her perma conditions to a promotion. It's definitely been interesting, because in a lot of ways, I'm still fleshing out Cass as a character. Yeah, I'm sorry that this is gonna be so long, me just yapping at you guys while we wait for Jojo to come around. Hopefully Jojo comes around and actually calls V. But in a lot of ways I've been fleshing out the character. So if there's any inconsistencies in her story or anything like that right now, or how she acts, that's because in a lot of ways I'm still kind of feeling that out. I mean, I've been playing her for what, 2 months now consistently. And well, actually, even I've been more consistent the last couple weeks since Reina died than I have been. I mean, I've been hitting my 10 hours. But in a lot of ways I'm still kind of figuring things out about the character and like quirks and things that she does. I try to remember to like have her have like a little bit of a deeper voice than my natural voice, which is already kind of low. But like I'm changing her birthday at some point. But you know, she has 2 younger siblings. But like she's figuring out, like, she doesn't have the word for it yet, but she is aromantic. And like I've said this before, she also has just like such a interesting view on relationships. Her parents are high school sweethearts who are still married, but Cass sees them as an exception. She watched friends go through messy breakups, watched friends' parents go through messy divorces, watched friends go through messy divorces. And Cass also sees relationships as there's a level of vulnerability, and she has this guilt, and you can kind of see it with her relationship with Reese, of feeling like she's led someone on when she realizes it's not going to work. I mean, I'm definitely going to miss Veronica's story when it comes to an end. But I've had the character since 2021. We are on year 4 of this character. I don't have regrets about bringing her to 5.0, or not 5.0, 4.0. Like, I don't have regrets about that. Like, I considered bringing in a new EMS, but I don't think it would have been nearly as compelling. I'm also doing some research for medical conditions that Cass could have, because I like having something to throw in that might complicate matters or just be a little, you know, nuisance. Because, like, Veronica has a strawberry allergy. Actually, let me bring up her emergency contacts. Well, I haven't fixed her ECs yet. That's the second one of her primaries dead. But she's allergic to strawberries, has an allergy to bee wasps and hornet stings, has a moderate hazelnut allergy because, I'm not gonna lie, I fucking hate hazelnuts. I think they're disgusting. a mild avocado allergy because I thought it was funny, and a mild shellfish allergy. Also has like her Addison's disease and obviously her mental health struggles. Cass does not have any of the, like, doesn't have depression or PTSD or anything like that, where Veronica has a combination of complex PTSD, borderline personality disorder, and probably some level of depression, right? With everything that she's been through. But, man, how sad is it? There's only 2 living people on Veronica's emergency contact list anymore. Oh, this song. And then you have Lizzie, Ash, Sam, Tommy. Doll is still on here. Mike is still on here. Winston and Tanner are both dead. Dust is dead. Veronica refuses to take dead people off the list. What else we have here? The EMS movie. If you guys haven't watched this, you should. I'm gonna drop the link in chat. I think it's... Is it still... Yes. This is from 3.0. And it's the funniest fucking thing. I won't show it on stream because it's like a half an hour long. And it's just the funniest fucking thing to me. Description. Oh yeah, blood donation. I have a notes. Oh, things that she does. Her lottery ticket. Man, the sun's gonna be rising by the time Carby is on Joanna, huh? Maybe I should have... Hello, Hemsworth.
Veronica, you son of a fucking bitch.
Hey, I was around.
You son of a bitch.
I was around while I had that warrant.
Listen, I want to let you know something here. You may have won the battle, but you have not won the war.
What does that mean?
You'll find out soon enough, Veronica.
What does that mean, Hemsworth? Hemsworth. What does that? What does that mean? Is he can't extend the warrant, can he? Like, what does that mean? I wish I had a parachute right now. I wish V had a parachute right now. May have won the battle. Hey, she wouldn't break her leg. I wouldn't roll for that. But Hemsworth has been calling her like every day. Are they chasing the race? Don't tell me, obviously. No Guys, shit. I'm excited. My contact lenses get here tomorrow. I have not had contacts in over a year. To the point that, like, I dyed my hair over the weekend, and because I wore my glasses while I was doing it, I ended up dyeing the arms of my glasses. I got some of the dye off, but it's a very slow chase. Who's around that we can bother while we wait for JoJo? Don't need bandages. Got a radio. Go. Let me guess, stream's gonna start over again. Because the internet just did the I saw it blink red. I saw it blink. Also, I found a spot for Cass in the movie studio. That's gonna be like her spot to go to. So V's not gonna go there. Oh, we should have stayed up for the sunrise. Oh well. Coulda, shoulda.
Winky
Thank
twin.
you, Winky.
Hello.
I like your winky.
I like your Winky.
Oh my
Thanks.
god, thank you.
It's a nice color. Oopsie. I wonder if that's the Winky that CJ saw. She's concerned about the fact that, you know, the deagle was there. When I tell you guys, like, that deagle was like... Okay, we'll go somewhere, right? And I'll throw Veronica's gun, right? We'll go somewhere. That gun, I don't think that gun was thrown. With the way that it was there, I don't think it was thrown. I think it was placed. Because it was pointing directly at the window. Depending on which one was the real one. Either way. Because there was one standing up and one laying on the ground. Because there was some weird scuff going on that day. Either way. I don't think... Actually, you know what? Let's go to Mirror Park. I don't think that a gun thrown from the road... I'll throw her fucking sewer gun. I don't think a gun thrown from the road would land there. I could be wrong. It was just weird. Because it was a dead deagle too. It wasn't like someone actively had it and maybe it was on like 1% when they ditched it. But when I tell you it hadn't been there earlier, because I had left the house a few hours earlier to check on some stuff, I think. If I'm remembering correctly. And I don't know. It's what's the tag in reports? Exclamation point concerning exclamation point. Unfortunately, this iteration of Veronica would not call the cops. To be like, hey, someone left the deagle and she didn't know if she had a warrant. I think, to be honest, I think if the warrant thing wasn't in question, Veronica probably would have called a cop to take it. Mostly because she could use that to her advantage to find out who the fuck left it there and find out, like, if it was actually, like, someone threw the gun during a chase, or is someone being a creepy stalkerson and leaving a present either for Alice or Veronica. The real spice would have been as if it was the gun that shot Raina. That would have been the real spice. Over here. I don't think I'm in the right place. Never mind. I'm sorry this last hour has just been me yapping. I'm trying to think. I haven't really been on Veronica too much. Y'all know that she had that warrant. I feel bad because I was not around as much as I could have been on V. But she was around. She did some bike racing and stuff like that. And was just generally, like, around. Cops never once even did a drive-by of Chumash. At least while she was there. Like, she wasn't, like, she was in disguise, but she wasn't hiding. But also, like, I just didn't feel like... I felt like the timing of it couldn't have been worse for her to get that warrant, because I just really was not feeling being around an RP, especially on Veronica. Because I'm not gonna lie, I have been feeling burnt out on Veronica. And if I'm being honest, I've been feeling burnt out on V for some time. Cause like, it's this weird place of there's still story with her and Lane, there's still story with her in the club, but people in general have been very eepy or just burnt out. And then also just feeling like, you know, there's not a lot, like, right now that I can think of that I want to do with the character. There's a conversation still to be had with Flop. She hasn't brought herself to calling him. And I anticipate when she does, if she ever does actually have that conversation with Flop, it's going to be a rough one, like, emotionally. Because from what Idol told her, right, Ziggy's not doing too good. And you know, V doesn't know how Ziggy ended up there. Right? It's not really her business how Ziggy ended up there. But it's something Veronica can relate to on a very deep level of, you know, the one person you care about most in the world being laid up like that. So I imagine if Flop and V ever do get to have that talk, it's probably going to be a very emotional one. At least on V's end, because she is such an empathetic character and always has been. She just has a very funny way of showing it sometimes. Sometimes empathy can look a lot like stabbing somebody. Throwback to when she stabbed JoJo and Charlotte and Ember. She's done a lot of stabby stabs. And Sam. Can't forget about Sam, but she not only stabbed Sam, but she also shot Sam. And she barely remembers doing it. Because one of Veronica's traits, one of Veronica's traits that we don't see too often, well, I think we've seen it a little bit more often as of late, but Veronica has a temper on her. I'd argue that when she gets really angry, her temper is probably worse than Mason's ever was. Because, between the two of them, right? Since being in San Andreas and, you know, prior to Mason dying and prior to him shooting Reina, I think Veronica was more likely to violently lash out at people she cared about than Mason. But you didn't expect it from her. With Mason, I think people expected his temper, so they knew when to back off. With Veronica, she goes from being calm 1 second to absolute batshit insane the next. I believe I told you guys, I did record when she stabbed Sam. I'm still not ready to share that. If anything comes of what happened to Sam, we'll share it sooner. But the biggest driving factor, like, yes, there was stuff that she said about the club. But the biggest driving factor was, shit that Sam was saying about Mason. So, the gun, right? We found the gun right there. I'm gonna go to the road. I'm a passenger in the car. Yeah, there's no fucking way. So, the one gun was laying outside, so maybe it was thrown. But they would have had to throw it from, like, right here. Like, they would have had to have been up on the sidewalk. Which is very possible in a chase. I'm throwing it. Okay, yeah, feasibly, if you're in a car. But even still, it's not pointed at the window. Like, let me find this for y'all. Because I don't know if Crystal showed you guys the photo I sent her. Because I sent her a photo of it. Browse. Where are my screenshots? Documents. Share X. Screenshots. So I don't know which one was the real one. I don't know if the one that was laying right like laying down was the real one or the one pointed at the house. The one that I picked up and that physically went into my pocket was the one pointed at the house. No, it was one, but there was scuff when I looked at it. So it quote unquote duplicated, but there was only one gun. You saw two though. I don't know which one was actually the real one. I suspect it was the one pointed at the house. Yeah. One gun, just scuff. But even still, right? It's gonna be so fun if a cop drives by while I'm throwing a gun. So, you know, even still, you're in a chase, right? You're in the chase. No! There's no way! There's no way! You have to be, like, up in... There's no fucking way that it was in a chase. Maybe I have to get a deagle to actually, like, properly science it, but... There's no fucking way that it was thrown. And even still, with the scuff, it wouldn't have duplicated on the ground. Like, it wouldn't have duplicated pointing at the house. I don't think. And it wouldn't, like, I would have picked up the one on the ground if that was it, like, laying down. Which brings me back to, did someone place it? Okay, if I'm someone, I'm running. Put the gun down. Okay, that's feasible. That someone was in a foot bail. No. What if I'm facing this way? Welcome to Mel does science. Well, V does science. Okay. If someone hops the wall and drops the gun like that, it could point at the house. But if it was the one laying down, I don't know. It just... Okay. That could have been it. But, like, I don't know. It just doesn't... You would have had to cut across the whole ass lawn. If it was a chase. But also, why would someone... throw a gun there? Also, fun fact, Reina's tarot cards are missing. Veronica has not been able to find them. That would have been a fucked up text to send. That would have been fucked up for me to send. That one's... If they went after Alice to hurt V further, they would have a bigger issue than Veronica to worry about. And Savannah's in sassy, we don't like Veronica right now mood. Is Carby on JoJo yet? Don't tell me. Is she on JoJo yet? Veronica still wants to go after Lincoln Faraday. Like, I don't want you guys to think that, like, she does not want to. But she is not mentally in a space to do that and pull it off. Like, she's at least aware enough to acknowledge that she is not mentally in a place to try to do that. What? I wish I didn't have eyes right now, to be honest. We're just waiting at this point. It's a waiting simulator. If he's just gonna have a drinky drink while she waits. No, it's fine, that's why. We're gonna suffer waiting for JoJo. I'm sorry, like, this whole stream has just been V Sag farming. Who do you think Veronica stabs next? Hopefully nobody. She doesn't like doing it. She doesn't like take joy in it unless it's Ember. But even like right now, like she has no reason to stab Ember. Ember hasn't done anything to, you know, actually like hurt Veronica or people that she cares about recently. Mind you, V is a little miffed that Ember got out of prison. Strictly because she thinks that Ember should have had to serve life in prison for what she did. Like, you done goofed up and did a serial assaults and killings not once but 2 times. Alright, I gotta run to the restroom. So, what's Veronica gonna throw on? You know what? V is gonna throw on... No. Actually, yeah. Which is one of Cassidy's comfort movies. Veronica does not like Sweet Home Alabama. But it's what's on TV. And I'm gonna turn on some music. Let's just go for the Spotify DJ. No. No. No, not 2023. No. Okay. Alright. We'll be right back. Let me guess. She called while I was AFK. All right. Showtime.
Hey.
Hey, what are you doing?
Just woke up.
Gotcha. You want to meet up somewhere and talk?
Sure.
Okay. You sound a little worried. Not worried.
Well, I mean, I've got. Patrick told me to call you. He was cryptic about it.
Yeah. Why don't we meet at those really pretty buildings in Legion?
All right. I'll be there.
All right. I'll see you in a few.
Bye.
All right, bye. I was gonna do it at the pier, but I think Legion's nicer. Change it up a little bit. Shoot. Oh. Where is she? Is she going into Legion? Thank you for letting me know. Oh, you are using it? Okay, we won't go up on one of the buildings then.
It's fine. It's just a little
Okay.
bit of muscle loss.
Oh. From the... Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I didn't.
Well, yeah, I'd be concerned if you forgot about it. Kelly, thank you for the resub, 31 months. Well, it'd be really concerning if you forgot about it. Is there anything they
Yeah.
can do about that?
Stacy gave me steroids. It was mostly the infection that didn't help. That's their book.
It's some kind of promotional thing.
Huh. Might heal over time.
Gotcha.
Hey, it's not the first time I've walked with a limp.
No, but like you had surgery to fix it, and
Yeah.
do you want to sit somewhere?
That's fine.
Okay.
Alright, lay it on me.
there's there's no easy way to tell you this because I know how you are with this kind of stuff. Reina was murdered.
Jesus Christ.
She survived the initial attack, but when they did surgery to remove the bullet from her brain, as it turns out, she had gone septic and she died after surgery. She was stabbed in the chest and shot in the head with a sewer pistol.
Do you know who?
Yes.
Was justice served, or?
Not yet. As far as I know, they are not in the state at the present moment unless they are playing extremely low. I know I'm not in any state to go after them. Not yet. As far as PD is aware, she died of natural causes because Jackie did me a solid on that one. Because if PD looked into it further and then the suspects or people of interest turn up dead or severely injured, it's not really a good look, you know?
Yeah.
But I've been pretty vocal about who did it. Reina was supposed to be going to Washington with my little brother Link. Instead, he took her to the Polito Pier where his wife was waiting, and his wife stabbed her in the chest.
Fuck.
Because I didn't let her have Mason. And Wally killed Mason. She sent me a lovely text saying that because I couldn't give her what she wanted, she was going to take what I loved most from me.
We're living in a soap opera.
That's how I feel. This woman is a absolute psycho who was still in love with Mason, even though if he had wanted to choose her, he would have. The fact of the matter is, Mason would be
Why
sickened.
were so many people in love with Mason? Did he have, like, a monster cock or something?
I wouldn't describe it as that, no. As far as I know, aside from me, there's only one other person he slept with after being with me, and that was after we were separated.
God.
And it was not Faraday, it was somebody else that I'm not going to name.
Oh boy.
No, he was nice to her when she was his prospect, and he took care of her, and she fell head over heels with him within a span of a few days.
Jesus Christ.
And then there was a whole thing where he kissed her back in June, and
Oh.
it was a whole thing. But if he wanted to be with her then, he would have left me. You know?
Oh boy.
Like, yes, inevitably we did divorce, but it's because he realized, like, he's not built for relationships, period, not... He wanted to leave me to be with her. And the bitch of it all is my brother knowing that this is what his wife wants to do. Is to avenge a man that's not him. A man who knew...
His wife was in love with? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Faraday shot Link like 7 times in the chest back in June, but he still married her.
Jesus Christ.
Guess it runs in the family, but, you know, he said Dad was right about me. No, Dad was right about him. He was a mistake.
Oof.
And a disappointment.
Oof. How's Wally doing?
I haven't talked to him too much. The reason Raina was going with Link to Washington was to get away for a bit because she and Wally were separating.
Oh, Jesus.
And Link absolutely betrayed both her and I. And if I see him ever again in this state, I'm shooting him on sight. He's not getting the dignity of a monologue or anything like that. I'm just shooting him in the head and leaving him for dead.
Understandable.
And just like how my sister, they couldn't even shoot her with a real gun. They used a sewer gun. So I'll shoot him and hope that the bullets lodge so far they can't take it out and he goes septic and dies. Because what a horrible, awful way to go. We haven't had the service yet. I was gonna try for this weekend, but I just have not been up to even leaving the house, to be honest. I'll leave for a short burst. I did go on a job last week and get a fucking warrant because I escaped custody, but it's because distraction, you know?
Yeah.
But I've
Jesus
been
Christ.
basically staying home and just kind of leaving periodically to check on things and check on people because life does go on and continue forward even if you don't want it to.
Yeah. It's been a lot of death.
It just doesn't stop.
No, it doesn't.
I hope I can get out of this fucking city before it kills me too.
I hope so too. But I don't have high hopes.
I don't want to die here.
What do you want?
So I'm trying to figure out. Because I still have people I care about deeply here. So as long as they're here, I'm not going anywhere.
How long until they're picked off one by one?
I'm hoping it doesn't come down to that. Really, it's the club and Allie that keep me here. And people like you and even Charlotte. But I'd say Alice is kind of the top of that list because I promised Mason I'd look after her and take care of her and keep an eye on her. Not that she really needs me to do that, but...
Got a bad feeling about the future.
What kind of bad feeling?
Just something in my gut. I've heard people talk about nukes, but I don't know how much I believe that, but I mean, I wouldn't put it past this city.
Considering Sanguine?
Yeah. And I just have a sinking feeling that things are just gonna keep getting more and more fucked up. I talked to Ember yesterday, and even the clowns aren't having fun, and I don't think they've been having fun in months and months. Something's deeply wrong and broken.
I mean, look around, right? Daily state of emergencies there for a while. We don't even know what they were for, what they were about. This archivist stuff. The water things saying stuff about nodes and all that go out.
It's fucked up. What are we supposed to do about it?
That's $1 million question.
I can't even find a way for myself to feel like I belong. No matter what I try to do.
I mean, where are you trying to belong? I guess is the question.
Anywhere. I just want to feel loved and cared about. I did with them. And then that got fucked up. I had happiness for a brief fleeting moment. And then that disappeared. I'm sure you're feeling pretty similar.
I can definitely relate. But I also had the club to fall back on.
Yeah.
I think trying to fit in somewhere just to feel like you belong somewhere isn't the route to go. Just letting yourself be you. It's gonna sound cliche, but be you and the rest will follow.
People don't really like me.
Is it you they don't like, or is it who you've bended yourself into being?
Even trying to be my most authentic self, being a therapist, people hated my guts.
See, like, there's that word, right? Trying to be my most authentic self. Being your authentic self isn't something you gotta try at. It's who you are when you're not thinking.
I'm always thinking.
Okay. Well, that's... I'm not saying never think, but it's like, you when you're not thinking about what you're doing, right? When you're at your most unguarded, that's your authentic self.
I think the problem is I can never be unguarded in the city.
I mean, that's a valid point to make. That's a silly question. Have you thought about going back to therapy?
I don't think I'd be happy
Why is that?
standing at a desk again.
I'm not talking about you being the therapist.
Oh. I have talked to a therapist to set up an appointment.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
Which one, if you don't mind me asking?
His name's Owen.
Gotcha, I think I've seen the name around.
Yeah.
So you reached out to him?
Yeah, we're gonna set up an appointment. I was actually talking to him yesterday.
Okay. Good. That's a start.
Therapists just make me feel on it, having been one myself.
Mm-hmm. But you know, at the end of the day, they're there to help you, right?
Yeah. What about you? Are you seeing someone?
I have not been to my therapist in 2 months. The last time I was supposed to see her after Mason died, she was called as a witness in Umber's trial, so it never happened. And then our regular appointment fell by the wayside, and, you know. It is what it is.
You're a mess.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that point. I think if I had been in therapy after Mason died, I probably wouldn't have almost killed Samantha Sanders.
Is that something you regret?
Yeah, because she's someone I've known for so long. And yeah, It was brutal. It was bad. I barely remember what happened. I just remember being very angry and stabbing her.
Not the first time you've done that.
No, but at least with you and Charlotte, it was only once. I stabbed her repeatedly judging from how much blood was on my clothes and on my cut.
Jeez.
And I guess on my hands because there was blood trailed throughout the entire house when I got home. I haven't really talked to anyone outside the club about it. It was about a month ago at this point.
Well, I don't really know Samantha, so...
Yeah, I did something fucked up after, and I went and visited her in ICU because I was on her contact list, and I thought, man, if I don't go visit her, it's gonna seem really suspicious.
Oh, no.
Well, the cops never found out it was me, so...
Did she know it's you?
Oh, yeah, no, she knew it was me. And Charlie also pieced together that it was probably me.
What a clusterfuck.
Yeah, she confronted me on it, and I was like, no, it wasn't me.
So... Raina's gone.
Yeah. And her tarot cards are missing, so there's that.
I didn't get to talk to her much. Man. I remember the good old days. We really are some of the last ones standing.
Yeah. We really are. We tried contacting as many people as possible to come in to town while she was in ICU. Sam and Ash came through. I gotta talk to them about when's gonna work best for them, because I don't really give a shit about Wally's schedule in this planning. I'll set some ashes aside for him to do with as he pleases. But I need to plan something for her oldest and dearest, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Her sister,
Understandable.
Jackie, made it to town. Yeah. It's not that I don't care about how Wally's feeling right now. I don't want to make it sound like that. It's just I also had to prioritize other people who cared about her.
Yeah.
And some of her ashes are going to be going to a cherry blossom tree.
That's nice.
Some will be scattered at Sustancia, and then think I'm gonna take Ash and Sam and scatter some somewhere, and then give some to Jackie as well to do with as she wishes. Let those that were closest to her grieve in their own way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm probably gonna set something up at the Liquid Library. I gotta talk to Max and all that. Once I talk to Sam and Ash about a day that works for them.
Why Max?
He was actually pretty close with Reina.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they worked very closely at the Liquid Library for so long, you know?
Hmm.
I'm just really glad I'm not the one that had to tell Nicholas about it.
Oof. I like to imagine that. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I think Lottie's the one that told him.
Man.
Um, I will say, I know this whole thing was probably traumatizing for a lot of people too, because we had all been let back into the ICU to see her post-surgery, and that's when it happened.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So Patrick was there, Idol was there.
Oh.
I think Idol was there, I can't remember clearly, but I know Patrick was there.
Jesus.
So, I'm just letting you know that as well.
Alright, that is good to know.
But, I don't want to cut this short, but I do gotta...
Yeah. Stay safe. Don't get yourself in too much trouble, okay?
I can make no such promises.
Alright.
Damn, she really didn't hug Veronica back. I was wondering if you were gonna pick it up.
Yep. Can't just leave it there.
Sure you can.
No, it's litter.
Remember when you used to have the list of people who would leave
Yeah.
their vehicle registration?
It was really good. It was so good. No one ever leaves vehicle registrations anymore.
No, they really don't. Alright, I'll catch you later.
Catch you later.
think that went better than I expected it to. So that's a push. But now it's time to end stream. And I'm gonna go swap to Cass and not stream her. Because we don't stream Cassidy Collins in this house. Only as a very rare occasion treat, and you guys aren't getting that treat tonight. I almost made a joke about, like, get me to 25 subs and we'll see about a Cassidy stream. I'm not going to. I'm not gonna commit to doing a Cass stream. Alright. Let's pick a song. We'll end on where we started.
Yeah, I was there last week. And I think you sold me a gay dog. How do I know? Because he's really into show tunes and wine coolers. Of course I'm kidding. Keeps humping other dude dogs.